So this season, I know a lot of you are hitting the beach. And we know that swimming in the ocean waters is one quick way of just cooling ourselves down, right? And we thought that maybe it would be appropriate to start with somebody who is so passionate about the seas and the ocean. And perhaps this is going to also equip us to be a little bit more mindful about our beach trips. So let me introduce to you our first speaker. Miss Ana Verona is a diver and photographer and is currently on the advisory board of Verde Azul Philippines. She's a firm advocate of conservation, and from 2022 to 2024 had been Chief Operating Officer of the Haribon Foundation, where she had been responsible for the foundation's strategic plans and program development, among many other things. At this time, the foundation initiated collaborative programs with multinational private institutions, enhanced its donation avenues, bringing its resource mobilization on an international scale, and then also established a responsible tourism training program for the indigenous people of Sierra Madre, contributing to a global sustainable tourism agenda. So apart from these, Anna had also been actively involved in various environmental and community projects, ranging from those focused on cleaning the ocean, biofarming, advocacy and awareness, and community development. So let us welcome her and hear from her about her work in advocacy. Welcome, Anna.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, as Anna said, I'm well, that. So yeah, mainly I'm a photographer. And in 2013, that's what got me started. I just had to, my boss just told me, Anna, you're going to have to climb the mountains and go to the national parks with us. But I'm just admin. Ba't ako mapasama? Tapos sabi lang ganun, kasi yung host ng TV show, bilang hindi na pwede sumama sa kanila. So our TV show was focused on responsible tourism, and we advocated for the national parks all over the Philippines, which meant I would be hiking, river trekking, sleeping in tents, and that's not my life. I was Snow White. So I was very uncomfortable. And I had to go on a bus, go to the Roro. Sometimes we'd be in the Roro for 24 hours. Like, you know, the banyo was like crazy. So it's not the life I was used to. But then, it led me to the life where I saw the beauty of our country, especially of our environment. It became a healing process for me because I was going through something very difficult during that time. No, but what's the best way to heal? But when you're in a waterfall where nobody has gone to yet from Manila, yung mga tiga-indigenous people lang yung nandun. Tapos pag lusob mong ganon, lahat kami nanginginig na ganyan on a hot summer day. So that's how fresh the water was. So anyway, next slide please. I talk too much na. So I want to talk to you about the camera lens on conservation, which is focusing on the importance of marine protected areas. Because right now, our planet is in crisis. It's troubled. The ecosystems are not balanced, it's not working well, it's struggling. And when that happens, it will have a hard time producing the resources we need in order to live, to eat, to breathe, and stay beautiful. Okay? Next slide, please. So what is a marine protected area? A marine protected area is sections of the ocean where a government has regulated human activity. So there are different kinds of regulations. So you go to a beach. Sometimes you can do anything there. Picnic, karaoke, matulog kayo, mag-pinch tent kayo dyan, snorkel, diving, swimming, lahat na. Diba? Pero wag marine protected area, may regulations. Sometimes you can dive, sometimes you can swim, sometimes you can go fishing, sometimes none at all. Okay? So I'll talk to you, I'll just give you a few examples of the marine protected areas that I've worked in with UNDP and WWF. So recently, I just came from Tubataha Reef. Tubataha Reef is one of the best concepts, proof of concept, where regulated human activity becomes proof that it will help Mother Nature regenerate by itself. without human help. The only help that you will give is tell people, oops, stop, no fishing. Ganon. And then it was implemented well. They had rangers 24/7 in the middle of the Sulu Sea. And they're armed and dangerous. So, in Tubataha, when you get there, you go to Puerto Princesa Port, you go on a boat, you sleep, you go overnight, 16 hours, sometimes 18. When you wake up, you go to the deck, you're just surrounded by an ocean of blue. No land in sight, but many dolphins. Okay? So what makes Tubataha so amazing? Tubataha is home to 600 fish species, 360 coral species, 13 dolphin and whale species, 11 shark species, and 100 plant species. Hello. Isn't that abundant? So it was so abundant that in the 1970s and the 1980s, people would go there to fish. Pero nauso si dynamite and cyanide fishing. So naging rubble siya. So pagdating ng 1980s, WWF and the government decided to call it a marine protected area with no fishing at all. Nagalit yung mga taga-Cagayansillo. Sabi nila, paano kami kukuha ng pagkain? Ganyan. So, dun muna sa Tubataha mismo, sa reef. 10 years later, when the people of Cagayansillo got involved and they saw how abundant the fish and the coral started to go back, they asked the government, isali nyo na rin ho kami. So, sinali na yung Kawili, Calusa, Lanuza. So, ayan, naging 1 million hectares na of marine protected area ang area na yon ng Cagayansillo. So now, when you go down, it can go drop 100 meters deep. And I've been to as far as 60 meters. That's 180 feet. Down there, even though it's dark, the fans are bigger than this wall. Ganyan kalaki kasi nga, there's no activity for fishing, only responsible tourism. And tourism there is so limited only during the times of March to June. After that, wala na. Hindi na sila pinapayagan. Yun. So, regulated. Next slide, please. Batalong Bato in Tingloy, Batangas is a small marine protected area. Doon, no activity whatsoever. In fact, it was a very well-known anecdote that a very famous celebrity diver went there thinking kasi celebrity status siya, kamag-anak niya yung governor, pwede siya mag-dive doon. Ay, nag-isipag-away sila doon. She was so passionate. Si Princess Galdovino, who was from Romblon, is married to a former councilor. She really fought hard to have that area of theirs declared the marine protected area, no human activity whatsoever, except for patrolling. So that was 19 years ago. Rubble din siya. And I saw that. I was one of the photographers. Next slide, please. Now she reports, sadly kasi wala masyadong funding sila, maliit lang. Pero when I went down there last year, I didn't know where to bring my camera anymore. School of Barracuda, School of Surgeonfish, School of Angelfish, they were all over. So that's another proof of concept again, that when you regulate human activity and declare marine protected areas, Mother Nature can take care of its own. Next slide, please. So why are we doing this? Because more than 50%, actually 2/3 of the air we breathe comes from the ocean. And biodiversity contributes to the production of this air. So let's next slide. So let's start from this, okay? You would think that when you go underwater, it's just rocks. It's not rocks, it's substrate. On substrate, things grow, organisms grow. And on these organisms are tiny shrimps and crabs that eat those organisms. Those tiny shrimps and crabs are eaten by fish. These fish live in coral reefs. These coral reefs keep them safe. They can sleep there, they can they can grow there, and they're also kept safe. And then when they mature, they get to mate. When they get to mate, they get to grow. But their population cannot be too big. Diba? So what did Mother Nature do? Sharks, barracudas, eels. It controls the population of those fish. Then what did Mother Nature do again? Bigger fish. Diba? O syempre, ang daming animals, ang daming organisms, ginawa ni Mother Nature, whales, filter feeders. And then, if you think about it, if the whales eat that much, where does it go? Because when they eat a lot, they poop a lot. Okay? So their fish poop a lot. So when they poop a lot, what happens? Phytoplanktons. Si Mother Nature first zero waste eh. Si phytoplanktons come up, eat the poop. They swallow it, and then they release. What do they release? Oxygen. So you are inhaling the farts of phytoplankton. Next slide, please. So also, so oxygen production. No? So now they also have food and habitat security. 1.6 billion people rely on food from the coastal areas. Pero actually, a new study shows that 50% of the people in planet Earth, so it's about 3.5 billion, rely on the ocean for their employment. For money. We need money. We need money to live, right? Next slide, please. So there's economic opportunities there. Fisheries, agriculture, tourism, even medicine. Many of the chemicals that are coming from the ocean, from corals and plants, come from the marine environment. It helps cure Alzheimer's, asthma, heart disease, lung disease, arthritis. So, maraming benefits talaga yung ocean sa atin. But there are threats to the planet. Yan, overfishing, habitat destruction. Yan, ang dami. So, next slide, please. Between 2007 to 2016, 970 to 2,700 billion fish are fished every year. And most of them are just bycatch. So, only like about 40% of it is eaten by humans. The others are either thrown away or they find a way to do something with it. No? Next slide, please. By 2025, which is when? Correct. How many months? Diba? 12 billion metric tons of plastics will be littering the planet. 12 billion. How many people are we right now? 7 point something, almost 8. So there's going to be more plastics than human. Next slide, please. Also, by 2025, 70,000 tons of ship waste each year are from cruise ships. Kaya hindi ako maka-join ng cruise. Kasi they're huge, no? And then they have designated areas where they could dump their waste. Unlike with the smaller vessels, there's a way that they will treat the waste so that it's friendly to the ocean. Next slide, please. So right now, how many summers have you heard it? This is the hottest summer ever recorded. How many years na? Ilan na, di ba? Sunod-sunod na. So, okay, next slide. So this led me to a series of inspiring events. Next slide, please. Where this is our story na timeline. We started 2015. I was talking about plastic pollution. And a friend of mine, who is a plastic manufacturer, got mad at me. Sabi niya, we're trying our best. Sabi niya, sige, Ana, I challenge you. If you get the plastics clean, dry, and sorted, I'll take it and I'll use it for our furniture. So that's what I did. So it grew since then. Our first partner community was Alabang. The second one was Baseco. When I tell them, this is an interesting anecdote. I was just telling June about this. Sa Alabang, I tell them, oy girl, you're going to have to, let me teach your health. That you have to clean, dry, and then sort the plastics from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, what? That's so hard. I have to hire another maid. Ganon. So, pag sa Baseco, sasabihin lang, bakit pa? Pagdating naman ng basurero, kinukuhalat naman, din nasama sa basura. So you're coming from two demographics with two different hugots, no? But when I left Cleaner Oceans Project, we were already collecting 832 kilograms of clean, dry, and sorted plastics every month. So in 1 year, we could collect already 21 tons. And this would be sent to our upcycler partners, and it would be recorded, so it lessens the waste that ends up in the landfills. Pero yun na nga mahirap kasi kalaban mo, Metro Manila, 14 tons of waste a day sila Yun. Okay, next slide please. Pagdating ng 2021, yan yung mga success namin. Naging consultant kami for the expanded producers' responsibility, where people who manufacture for MFCGs, fast-moving consumer products, goods, their packaging, one, has to be labeled with the proper resin type so that when the consumer gets it, type 7 to, type 6 to. Ganyan. Alam na nila. Kasi dati, tinuturo ko pa sa kanila, This is type 1. How do you know the sound? How do you know the smell? How do you know ang cute. Pag type 5, parang pag-ibig na tunay. Pwede sa malamig, pwede i-microwave. Ganon klase. Ganyan kami magturo dati sa Baseco. So, relate naman sila kaagad. Ayun. So, next slide please. So, ayan yung unang MRF namin. Garahe ko. That's all clean and dry. So, pagdating ng 2021, yun, nag-21 tons na kami. Next slide please. So, you don't have to limit yourself, ha? Kasi sometimes it's the small things that count. So March 11, 2021, we were able to gather funds to donate for engines in Batalong Bato. Kasi nawalan sila ng bangka nung bagyo. Ganon. So maliit lang. Tapos, nag-install ka rin kami ng mga buya. So, hindi masasabi ng mga tao na, ay, hindi namin alam na marine protected area to. Hindi ganon. Yun. Small things. Tapos, pagdating ng, this is Anilao. Next slide, please. That's Verde Island Passage. Next slide. So, in Anilao, since 2015, we've been recorded, nakita nyo gano'ng kababaw? Diba? We've been recording shark sightings. Every year yan. Next slide, please. Just to show you how babaw it is. Yan. So, this year, we passed it last year pala for proposal to have it declared at ISRA, Important Shark and Ray Area. Pag na-ISRA na yan, may credibility na ako, pumunta sa LGU, sabihin ko sa kanila, pwede pakiregulate yung activity dito. During the burn months, please tell the people to stop throwing trucks on the sharks. Ganon, di ba? Next slide, please. So how can you be an environmental advocate? Next slide. First of all, you can start by buying secondhand. I can actually say, with all sincerity, everything I'm wearing is from secondhand. Either bigay ng nanay ko, bigay ng kaibigan ko, tinapon ng yaya ko, whatever. Totoo yun, tinapon na yun. Or you buy things that are not packaged. So you buy it fresh. Next slide. You could also check the labels. You have to check the labels. First of all, kung si Unilever, hindi pa rin naglalagay ng type 7 or type 5 doon sa bote nila, sabihan nyo sila. Write them a letter because that's what we did. We sent 2,000 postcards to the Senate asking for FMCGs to label their bottles. Next slide, please. So you compost. Ang maganda dito, when you start sorting plastics, you start to want to compost. So there are compost bins by Green Space that can fit a condo unit. Madali lang. So when you open it pa, if you're doing it right, you know it's right kasi amoy atsara, it smells like wine. But when you know it went bad, it's really bad. Okay, next slide, please. Tapos, of course, be water-wise. Eat less meat. Less lang ha, I'm not saying don't eat meat. So, and you can volunteer for nature. So, this is one of our events in Ayala, Alabang. So, you see people coming in, bringing their plastics, and they would put it in the proper bins. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't collect number 3. In fact, we were writing to the Senate to ban plastic number 3 because it's PVC, but it's in our pipes. That's the most cancerous plastics eh. Next slide, please. So as a photographer, I get to see and observe how ecosystems work. I like that there is a partnership between the species. And because there's a partnership between the species, our ecosystems are healthy. And when our ecosystems are healthy, we get good air, we get good water, we get good food, and we have well-being. Next slide, please. So let's take a stand. Let's support conservation efforts by my fellow speakers here today. And then this will ensure that the beauty and the benefits we witness today shall remain a timeless legacy for the world. Thank you.